Hello, welcome to the Daily Dose of Heath. Today is part 3 of the series I'm doing on ways to improve the Wesleyan Church. Part 1, we talked about free agency and having a better system where more pastors can know about what jobs are available, and district superintendents and churches can know more candidates that are out there by having a central online location for resumes and jobs to be posted. The second thing we talked about was having a defined discipleship process that would be the distinctive of the Wesleyan Church, that our focus as a denomination would be on making disciples. And when people think about the Wesleyan Church, they would think, oh man, that denomination is great in making disciples. Today, I want to talk about the third way to improve the denomination, and that is to enforce standards. Now, I want to be careful in some of the things I say. So many times when you get to district conference, a lot of times we reward mediocrity. We reward things that should be applauded, yes, but shouldn't be our focus. You know, we will applaud a church that pays their district assessment in full, and give them a plaque or certificate or something, but it doesn't matter if they had any salvations or baptisms or sanctifications. But man, it sure is great that they paid their assessment. What I would love to see us do is decide, and I think by making this our distinctive, that hey, our denomination, our churches are about making disciples. Then you set your standards based on that. And if you've got a church that hasn't grown in 20 years, hasn't seen any salvations, any baptisms, any growth, any change, any impact in the community, you say to that church, you know what guys, if you want to have your social club, you can go to the town hall, you can go to the elementary school gym, but you're not meeting the standards of what a Wesleyan church is, what a Wesleyan church is about. And we need your space. We need your building, we need your land, and we're going to put some people here, we're going to put a church here that's going to make a difference, and that is going to meet the standards and requirements that are distinctive of the Wesleyan Church. I think we need to have standards for our pastors. I think there are way too many pastors who aren't doing anything to improve themselves. They're not reading any books, they're not reading any blogs, they're not going to any conferences, they're not meeting they don't have an accountability partner, they're not pursuing, furthering their education, they're not doing anything to better themselves. Now these people may be good pastors, they may be busting their tail and making hospital visits and investing in people's lives, but I think as much as you're pouring out, somebody's got to be pouring into you. And so I think we've got to say, hey, to the whole denomination, to all our pastors, here's a great book you need to read. Here's some ways that you can invest in yourself. I think the gathering next year is going to be a great way, and hopefully churches will make a way for their pastors to get there. They will make that a priority and see that as an investment in their pastor. But as far as churches go, we've got to decide. We've got to step up and say, you know what? If your church hasn't grown, isn't growing, and you're just meeting on Sundays, you're just happy with where you're at, you're happy to have your little potlucks, you're happy to have one family run the church into the ground, we've got to be able to step up and say, you know what, being a part of our denomination is not a right, it's a privilege. And we've got to have a standard, but which if you're not meeting that standard, there are consequences. I mean, this is not a problem just in our denomination. It's a problem everywhere. There are churches in your town, there are churches in my town who are not having any kind of impact on anybody. They're just happy to do the same thing they've been doing, the same way they've been doing it, with the same people. And I think that absolutely breaks the heart of God. So we've got to challenge our churches. We've got to ask them to step up. And we've got to give them clear distinctives, clear goals, clear requirements that you can't fudge on a number sheet, that you can't just say, well, we got to put this number down on this column so we'll meet the standards. No, that's not what this is about. It's about life change. It's about impacting your community. It's about changing the world. And if we're not doing that, what are we doing? So anyway, that's 3 ways that I would improve our denomination, the Wesleyan Church. I'm sure I might come up with more. What do you think? Would love to know your comments. Where are we at? This is not a bash the denomination session. This is, let's get creative. Let's get ready to move us into the 21st century, and let's see this thing do amazing things for God. That's what this is about. Is getting young and old minds alike. Get us all on the same page. Let's make it happen. Let's see the Spirit of God move on us, move in our churches, move on our denomination in a way that we've never seen before. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.